More young people allegedly recruited to commit violent crimes. 13 people have been arrested. CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan has details of Project Wrangler.
Stolen mezuzahs in North York. The hate crime unit is investigating. We have responses from Mayor Olivia Chow, the UJA, and the community.
Okay, so if you have a flight booked on Air Transat, the pilots union has voted to strike. We're going to have the latest on negotiations as we enter the holiday travel season.
This is Live at 5.
Good evening. I'm Bakari Savage.
And I'm Phil Perkins. You're watching Live at 5. Our top story. Police are investigating after Jewish prayer scrolls were stolen from the front door of nearly 20 units in a Toronto community housing building for seniors in North York.
For the details and reaction, let's go live to CP24's Melissa Duggan near Bathurst and Steeles. Melissa.
Bakari and Phil, just getting an update from Toronto Police moments ago, confirming that this is still an active and ongoing investigation that is being led by the service's hate crime unit. This after Sunday morning, approximately 20 mezuzahs, Jewish prayer scrolls, were reported stolen from inside this building from the doorways of some 20 units. This a Toronto community housing building here. A number of Jewish senior, Russian Jewish seniors calling this building home and reporting this to police, leading to this investigation, and police saying that people in this area can expect an increased police presence for the next little while. There are a couple of Toronto police vehicles still outside this building at this time. I want to share more of what we are hearing from Toronto police.
We don't have any other reports from any other buildings in the area of this happening. So this, for me, is a first of its kind to have, so many thefts happening in one building at one time, and it's unacceptable.
There are special constables and special safety advisors at the site right now. There are also staff there to offer assistance to the tenants. They are working very closely with the Toronto Police because there are cameras around, and they are looking at what has occurred, and the police, of course, is investigating. And lastly, they are reviewing the safety protocol and see if any enhancement is needed in that building.
There has been vocal community reaction to this suspected hate-motivated theft investigation that is still underway. There was a news conference held outside the building today where we heard from a number of representatives from the Jewish community. We're also hearing that the Jewish Security Network, it's an independent agency dedicated to the security needs of the Jewish community in the GTA, that they're working closely with Toronto Police at this time. We're also hearing from the local UJA Federation, just talking about how this hits so deeply for so many. Have a listen.
The Jewish community, we know for more than 20 years now, has been the single most targeted group in terms of hate crimes in this city, which is completely unacceptable. And now, not only is it the Jewish population and Jewish community, it's elderly Jewish seniors and Holocaust survivors who are facing this kind of disgusting hate.
At this time, Toronto Police is saying that they don't have a suspect description to share at this point, but they are canvassing the area, looking for video, looking for more witness accounts, and also looking for any other people who may be complainants in this investigation. Perhaps they have had these items stolen from their doorways. They are being encouraged to reach out to Toronto Police, and certainly anyone who has any information asked to do the same. Back to you.
Melissa Duggan, thank you very much for that investigation. Also, another one. Police have announced the arrest of 13 suspects in a series of violent crimes across Ontario over several months and charged them with more than 150 offenses.
Let's go live to CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan, who's outside of York Regional Police Headquarters in Aurora. Steve.
Yeah, Bakari and Phil, we heard up here in York Region today regarding this project, which was a year long. It was intelligence-led. It was sharing of information throughout police services throughout the province and into Quebec. And as a result, it had some very good results. We are told that 13 people have been arrested. 150 charges have been laid. And some of those charges include murder, attempted murder, robberies, which include the home invasions and carjackings as well. often when you start a project like this, they're very complex. And we're showing you those two accused right there. They have warrants out for their arrest, Canada-wide warrants. They just have not been located. So that means that if these two are found anywhere in the country, the Crown will return them to this jurisdiction to face those criminal charges. Or if they manage to get outside of the country, if we have an extradition treaty with that country that they are located in, the Crown will extradite them back here as well. Now, these are only allegations, of course. They haven't been proven in court, but nonetheless, some very serious, violent accusations that the police have made with regards to these multiple individuals. This project was run by York Regional Police. It involved Peel, Toronto, London, the OPP, and the QPP as well. Here's more from the police we heard from earlier today at a press conference. Let's listen.
These offences run the gamut of violent crime: shootings and carjackings in busy public places, armed robberies at jewelry and cell phone stores, home invasion robberies that resulted in shootings and murder. These acts were brazen, they were brutal, and they're completely unacceptable.
This was not a traditional street gang, but rather a coalition of adult men from different groups and locations who would align themselves for profit-motivated violence. Over many months, we allege that individuals within this network coordinated and carried out numerous organized offenses, including homicide, attempt homicide, home invasions, armed robberies, firearms-related offenses, and a number of serious incidents across other jurisdictions outside of just the GTA.
When big projects like this are run, the objective is to disrupt and dismantle the criminal organization that you are investigating. And sometimes you just disrupt them because you don't get to the top of that food chain. You often just have the foot soldier, the guy that's on the ground doing the dirty work. But in this case, we heard from police that they believe they have disrupted and dismantled this criminal organization because they believe that they may have gotten those who are at the top of that food chain, the ones that are calling the shots. So that's some very effective police work. And it is when you disrupt and dismantle that you certainly see a difference on the streets because that gang is no longer in existence. For the time being, anyways. I'll send it back to you guys.
Okay, live in Aurora, CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan. An OPP are investigating after a vehicle was shot at. This is a suspected case of road rage on the 401 West Milton.
Yeah, police released this image of the victim's car. You can see a bullet hole in the driver's side door right near the door handle. The OPP say the shooting happened around 1:30 to 1:40 this morning. 2 people were in the vehicle, but no one was hurt. Police say the suspect's vehicle is a dark sedan.
These 2 vehicles with really no prior history that we are aware of, short of interaction on the highway, which led to an escalated violent road rage situation where someone's getting a gun out of their vehicle and shooting at the other vehicle. You know, these bullet holes, there's 2 holes in that driver's side door that went right through the driver's area, lodged on the other side of the vehicle. 2 occupants in that vehicle, amazingly, unfortunately, no injuries.
Police say the suspect could face numerous weapons and driving charges. Any witnesses or anyone with dash cam footage should contact police or Crime Stoppers.
Okay. York Regional Police, they're asking for help identifying 3 suspects in a home invasion in Richmond Hill. Investigators have released these images of the trio they're looking for. Police allege the suspects forced their way into a residence on Milky Way Drive. This is near Bayview and 16th Avenues. This was last Thursday. One of them was armed with a crowbar. The suspects allegedly demanded cash before leaving in a dark-colored vehicle with what investigators are only calling a quantity of property. So anyone with information, you have to call police or Crime Stoppers.
And provincial police are investigating a company that received millions of dollars from the controversial Skills Development Fund over funds it received from a different branch of the government. The investigation by the OPP Anti-Rackets branch relates to Keel Digital Solutions. The Ford government asked for an investigation last month after a forensic audit identified irregularities related to funding received from the Ministry of Colleges and Universities for student mental health. Keel Digital Solutions has been scrutinized in recent weeks as a recipient of the Ministry of Labor's $2.5 billion Skills Development Fund. Here's a statement from Keel Digital Solutions. It reads, quote, Keel remains steadfast in its assertion that it has complied with all laws and contract obligations. We welcome the OPP and will be completely transparent and cooperative. We look forward to the government's apology at the end of this, and we remain focused on facilitating mental health supports for the province's most vulnerable communities. Now, last month, when the province said it referred the case to the OPP, it had said at the time that all payments associated with Keel Digital Solutions were being looked at.
All Right now it's 5:09. Well, just turned 5:10. Let's get a check on the evening commute with CP24 traffic specialist Ajwa and Aj, how are the roads?
Very slow going, Bakari, and problems in the mix as well. So a pair of issues happening into Durham. So we'll start eastbound on the 401, just as you make your way past Brock Road. Crews dealing with a collision. Left lane and shoulder is blocked. Then from this point, the delays continue all the way out towards Westney, just past Westney into Ajax. It's the two left lanes that are blocked following a stalled transport truck. So both of these issues starting to really back up the drive into Durham. Headed towards the northbound 427, no problem. Still pretty busy, though, from Dundas up to the 401. And if you're on the QEW, very busy as you head west in towards Mississauga, into Oakville, and the delays continue all the way in to Burlington, but at least no live lane issues. A heads up, Fenmar closed both ways through Steeles following a very serious collision involving a transport and an SUV. I'll send it back to you.
This CP24 traffic report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Enjoy the journey with a stress-free commute.
Well, police have towed hundreds of vehicles and issued even more tickets halfway through a campaign to combat gridlock right downtown.
Police say that since October 20th, 418 vehicles have been towed, nearly 900 tickets handed out in an area bounded by Bloor in front and Bathurst and Jarvis. So officers are focusing enforcement on several contributors to gridlock, like illegal parking or blocking the box. That's when a vehicle is stopped in an intersection on a red light. The enforcement campaign, it runs through mid-January.
It's 5:11, feels like -8. You're watching Live at 5.
And the busy holiday travel season, it's almost here, and Air Transat passengers, they might have to deal with a strike. We're going to have a live update on the status of negotiations next. Air Transat passengers flying out today, they're facing uncertainty after the union for the airline's pilots issued a strike notice.
Let's go live to Pearson now. CP24's Arthur Zakarian with the latest on the labor dispute and potential impact on travelers again as we enter the busy holiday travel season.
Yes, that's right. So the Airlines Pilots Association did say that they are making progress. They did release a statement that reads in part, while some progress has been made, there is still work to do. We are working tirelessly to reach an agreement that achieves the collective priorities of our group. We remain committed to negotiating in good faith until a deal can be reached to avoid a strike. Now, they are in preparation for a strike starting on Wednesday. Flights are operating as normal today. Tomorrow, that's a different story. They're calling all of the planes back. All of Air Transat's 40 planes are going to be coming back to Toronto. That's the plan so far. So what happens to passengers or the people that are away at this point? Well, they can choose to come back with the Air Transat flight. Let's say their trip ends on December the 10th. They can come back a day early, a couple days early, or possibly Air Transat says that they will make other negotiations, accommodations, maybe with other airlines to take them for their date that they had originally planned. So it would be with another airline. So we're talking tens of thousands of passengers. 500 flights per week is what Air Transat operates. I said again, with those 40 flights that go out. We had a chance to speak to some of those travelers who are going to some Caribbean destinations today with Air Transat. Here they are.
I mean, we are a little bit nervous about it, but we'll be able to get down there, and that seems like something we can address later on.
Yeah, sounds like it's the only option that we really have right now, kind of at the mercy of the airline, so hoping for the best.
It is what it is. I mean, we'll have to make other arrangements home if our flight gets canceled. But
for me, it's an adventure, to be honest, because it's happened to me quite a bit before, too. So I said if I made it that time, I will make it this time. So I'm just taking a risk.
The Airlines Pilots Association hasn't had a new contract since 2015, so they want to update it, to modernize it. Air Transat says that they gave them a 59% wage increase over 5 years. However, the ALPA, the union, says that's inaccurate. That's not quite what it adds up to. So there's a bit of he said, she said going on here. Each side blames the other, but hopefully they are coming to a better conclusion very soon because those flights are returning, and Wednesday is around the corner when the pilots are set to strike. Back to you.
All right, Arthur, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Let's talk about another form of transportation right now. It is the first weekday for the city's newest transit line, the Finch West LRT.
The 10.3-kilometer route, it runs from Finch West Station to Humber College's North Campus. It finally opened yesterday. This is after more than 2 years. It's behind schedule and $1 billion over budget. So the TTC says Line 6 will run under soft opening conditions until the spring. The train's operating from 6 in the morning until 10 at night, Monday to Saturday, and then 7:30 to 10 on Sunday.
Now, riders we spoke to say the line is an improvement, but it could be more efficient.
It can be slow. Yeah, there's points where you're waiting for a good 5 minutes.
People are saying yesterday it was slow, but I got here quick, so I can't complain about it.
Oh, I'd say this is a lot faster. It's really helpful.
I don't really know the miles per hour that it went, but I don't know. It just felt like it was slow, stopping at the lights.
Obviously being kind of slower, it's not as, I'm assuming it's not what everyone wanted, but it's still a good step up from what we had before.
If we could go a little bit faster, then it would be a perfect.
Definitely not as fast as I was expecting it to be, but overall, I'd say it was a pretty nice experience.
And TTC Chair Jamal Myers responded to concerns today. This is about complaints over the slow pace of the Finch LRT.
When the system was first being designed, it was back in 2010 or whatever it was. It was a while ago. So we've definitely been looking at updating the transit signal prioritization policies for the City of Toronto, not just in how they apply to LRTs, but streetcars as well. So that's a more fulsome amount of work that's about to start.
Province estimates the new line will put around 230,000 more people within walking distance of rapid transit.
Well, Mayor Olivia Chow announced a fare capping program for the TTC today.
The program, which is planned to begin in September, would mean customers would automatically ride for free after taking 47 trips in one calendar month. Chow says that if successful, the city plans to extend the program to 2027, with fare capping kicking after 40 trips. The fare cap also applies to seniors or youth fares. Mayor Chow says this would likely save those customers about $10 each month. It is at 5:18 right now. Feels like -8. Watching live at 5.
Ottawa's making it easier for foreign trained physicians to work in Canada. We're going to have the details of the new express entry category next. Ottawa's creating new guidelines that'll make it easier for foreign-trained physicians to work in Canada.
Under the new express entry category, an international doctor can secure a job and have their work permit processed in just 2 weeks, allowing them to work while they await permanent residency. The federal government says 5,000 admission spaces are being reserved for provinces and territories to nominate licensed doctors.
We're moving away from a one-size-fits-all approach toward an immigration system that targets the professional Canada needs most. These measures send a clear signal to international doctors, offering clarity and a path forward to work and live in Canada.
Currently, it's estimated that around 13,000 internationally trained physicians in Canada are not working in their field. The changes announced today will help put their skills to work sooner, close staffing gaps, and provide more support to patients.
Well, the new express entry measures target internationally trained doctors with at least 1 year of Canadian work experience gained within the last 3 years.
Okay, plans are in the works to save hundreds of the roughly 1,000 jobs slated to be lost at Algoma Steel in Sault Ste. Marie.
The United Steelworkers Local 2724 says as many as 500 people could be back at work by the end of next year. The plan involves expanding capacity at Algoma through a government loan, but the details are still being worked out. Algoma sent layoff notices to more than 1,000 people last week after accelerating a move to a new production system that is more efficient. It is 5:22. Feels like -8. You're watching live at 5.
The Golden Globe nominations have been announced. 2 local filmmakers are being recognized for their work.
Welcome back. Hollywood drama. Paramount has launched a hostile takeover bid for Warner Brothers Discovery in an effort to disrupt the deal with Netflix.
Yeah, the company's offering more than $108 billion for the company, topping the $82.7 billion deal that Netflix made to acquire Warner Brothers. So Paramount submitted multiple offers starting in September in an attempt to forge an entertainment powerhouse capable of challenging Netflix and tech giants such as Apple, but that was rejected. Netflix won the bidding war Friday, and the deal's already facing significant antitrust scrutiny. Lawmakers and unions are criticizing the acquisition, saying that it could lead to job cuts and higher prices for consumers.
Now, Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another leads the pack in Golden Globe nominations.
I need to find my daughter.
Well, then call us back when you have the time.
You just...
Well, the dark comedy action film, it earned 9 nods, one more than Waheem Trier's Sentimental Value. Ryan Coogler's Sinners rounds out the top 3 with 7 nominations. On the small screen, Severance, Adolescence, Pluribus, The Last of Us, and The Pit, they were recognized with several nods each. The Golden Globes Award show hosted by Nikki Glazer, that's going to take place Sunday, January 11th.
It's time. The world will know you as pop stars.
And 2 local filmmakers are being recognized for their work. Korean-Canadian director Maggie Kang, who grew up in this city, earned a Golden Globe nod for Best Animated Feature for her debut film, K-pop Demon Hunters. She's up against Toronto's Dom Shi, who co-directed the fantasy adventure film Elio. 3 other Canadians got TV acting nods: Seth Rogen and Catherine O'Hara for The Studio, and Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building.
Okay, Mark Jones is the Dean of Animation Arts and Design at Sheridan College. This is where both Maggie Kang and Dom Shi spent some time studying. He talked to us about the achievement for the school's former students.
We were all just so proud of both Domi and Maggie for these incredible nominations, and I think it really caps off a really wonderful year for both of them. So it's we're all very proud of them at Sheridan, and I think it's a great day for Canadian animation.
And for the first time ever, the Golden Globes have nominated 6 shows for the award's new Best Podcast category. After announcing a short list of 25 podcasts, the ones that made the final cut: Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard, Caller Daddy, Good Hang with Amy Poehler, the Mel Robbins podcast, Smartless, and Up First. It's 5:27, feels like -8. Watching live at 5.
And we're live into Pearson Airport. There are no Transat flight cancellations today, but that could change for tomorrow as the airline prepares for a potential pilot strike. We're going to have a live update on the status of negotiations next.
More young people allegedly recruited to commit violent crimes. 13 people have been arrested. CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan has details on Project Wrangler.
Stolen mezuzahs in North York. The hate crime unit is investigating. We have responses from Mayor Olivia Chow, the UJA, and the community.
And if you have a flight booked on Air Transat, the pilots union has voted to strike. We have the latest on negotiations as we enter the holiday travel season.
This is Live at 5.
Good evening. I'm Phil Perkins.
I'm Bakari Savage. Welcome to Live at 5. Police have announced the arrest of 13 suspects in a series of violent crimes across Ontario over several months, charging them with more than 150 offenses.
Let's go live to CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan, who's outside York Regional Police Headquarters in Aurora. Steve, police discussed the role of young people because, yet again, we talk about how young people are now being basically used as a tool in all these crimes.
You're right, Phil, and we did hear from police today with regards to that trend. That it's one that we've heard many times being spoken about by law enforcement officials, chiefs of police who I've spoken to personally, talked about their concern, and that's because of the Youth Criminal Justice Act. The sentencing is much lower and less, of course, for those under 18 years of age. So the powers that be, the brains of these operations in these criminal organizations, they know this, and they recruit these young people, and they do it with the allure of money, with bling, and these young people go out and they commit a lot of these offenses, and then when they are arrested, charged, and eventually convicted, their sentencing is not what an adult's would be. So this is why there's a call for changes to come to the YCJA and to crack down harder on those that, again, are the brains of the operations who recruit these young people to commit these crimes. But I will say, before I throw it back to you guys, that today the police said that they believe that they have not only disrupted, but they've dismantled a criminal organization, and you only get to that point when you get both the foot soldier, the young people who may be on the ground doing this criminality, but you also get the brains of the operation as well. So the fact that the police were able to get both really speaks to the success of this project, and it reduces the chances of this type of crime from happening again, even if it's just for a small bit of time. But that's because this entire criminal organization is now disrupted and dismantled. So it's some very good police work.
Okay, so Steve, regarding that police work, we're talking about multiple jurisdictions. So how do these projects involving so many different police services work?
Yeah, great question. So it's never done in a silo. It's intelligence-led. These police services are always sharing information with one another, and their crime analysts do great work on recognizing crime patterns, recognizing crime trends, and they share that information. And if they recognize that you might have a group of people or offenses, let's say, throughout the province, and this one going into Quebec, where the MO is the same, where the same sort of things are being stolen at the same time, you kind of get an idea that these all might be related, and as a result, you put a project together, and then through your investigation, you'll come to that conclusion, and that's what's happened today with 13 people being arrested and 150 criminal charges being laid. The police services that were involved in this were York, Peel, Toronto, London, Ontario, the OPP, and the QPP. So this was a great sharing of information, a collaborative effort, and we heard the results today.
All right, thank you very much, Steve Ryan. We do appreciate that. Okay, let's talk about an ongoing controversy in Queen's Park. Provincial police are investigating a company that received millions of dollars from the controversial Skills Development Fund over funds it received from a different government ministry.
Okay, we're now joined live by CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris to break this down for us. Siobhan, there's been a lot said about this back and forth, both sides.
There's so much here, and I think people probably have heard of Keel Digital Solutions because of the reporting CTV has done through John Woodward on things like the Skills Development Fund and the money they've received from that fund. This is a story that goes back further, though. This company, Keel Digital Solutions, received millions of dollars from the Ministry of Colleges and Universities, and that's really at the heart of this. Now, there was an audit done back in 2023, and there was some sort of irregularity that showed up in that audit, enough for the audit to be passed on to the Premier's office. They had another look, and they, in the last few weeks, passed that on to the OPP. The OPP has been reviewing all of that, and they now say their anti-rackets branch is going to do a full-fledged investigation. For its part, Keel Digital Solutions is denying any wrongdoing. They've released a statement today that it reads, Keel remains steadfast in its assertion that it has complied with all laws and contract obligations. We welcome the OPP and will be completely transparent and cooperative. We look forward to the government's apology at the end of this, and we remain focused on facilitating mental health supports for the province's most vulnerable communities. Now, I did mention the Skills Development Fund. The way that these are tied in is Keel did get some Skills Development Fund money, even as there were questions through this audit about whether, and that has raised questions rather, about whether or not there was anything untoward happening with government funding. We did have the chance to speak with opposition parties in the last hour or so. Here's some of what they had to say.
The minister has spent 7 weeks avoiding accountability around this. Now we have another recipient of Skills Development Fund money under OPP investigation, and a minister who has fully admitted that he selected himself this person, this company. And we know, of course, that this company had many red flags attached to them already. We know that the Minister of Labor handed out millions of dollars to the company, flew to Paris to enjoy their lobbyist's wedding and enjoyed ringside seats with their executives. So I think that, once again, this whole thing reeks of preferential treatment, and the minister should either resign or be fired.
That's a pretty serious situation. And what's even more incredible is that Keel Digital Solutions continue to get tens of millions of dollars, including Skills Development Fund money, from the Ontario government after it had been flagged for a forensic audit and during the forensic audit. Now, we've asked the President of the Treasury Board and the Premier, just tell us when the clock started. Because you would think that when someone underwent a forensic audit, it's because we don't think you're being truthful with us. We don't think you're being straightforward. We're concerned that you would put a red flag on that and not send any more money.
Now, the government hasn't been able to fill in some of those blanks around that timeline that you heard the opposition raise questions about. They continue to call for David Piccini, the Minister of Labor, to either resign or be fired. I did ask the Premier's office tonight if the Premier continues to stand by his minister. In a word, yes. Back to you.
Siobhan Morris, thanks so much. I do appreciate that report. All right, let's check on traffic right now. Get a report from our specialist, Haj.
Yeah, Phil, I've been watching problems impact the drive on the 401 westbound. This is just through Yonge Street. Traveling in the express, crews on scene of a collision that is blocking the left lane as well as the left shoulder. You know, the westbound 401 wasn't really a bad commute today, but because of this problem starting to impact the drive, it's pretty slow from Leslie. More so in the collectors because drivers are slowing to avoid the express where the issues are. Then eastbound on the 401, this is just past Brock Road, you'll find the left lane and shoulder blocked to the collision. Then into Ajax, eastbound 401, just through Westney. It was a stall. It's the two left lanes that are blocked. My camera went out, so I can't show you it. And some good news. It's still busy on the eastbound Gardner coming into downtown. The reason? We had a collision. It was in the left lane. The problems have cleared. Outside of camera view in North York, Fenmar still closed between Steeles and Ormont. That is for a serious collision involving a transport and an SUV. I'll send it back to you both.
Okay, thanks, Adj.
Welcome.
Air Transat passengers flying out today, they're facing uncertainty after the union for the airline's pilots issued a strike notice.
Let's go live to CP24's Arda Zakarian and Adam Pearson. What are people saying? Are they a little nervous to take flight? Are they going to be able to get back home?
Yeah, you know what? I spoke to a bunch of people today who are flying Air Transat, going to the Caribbean, different places, and some of them were nervous, but a lot of them said this is a tomorrow problem, which, you know, good for them, because going on a positive note to your destination is key, and remaining positive really throughout it all. But some of them were worried. They said, you know, this isn't an ideal situation, but we'll deal with it when it comes, and hopefully Air Transat will take care of us and we'll find a solution, whether or not they return with Air Transat's planes or with other airlines. So today's flights, they're all scheduled to go as planned. It's tomorrow. Tomorrow there is a special program to bring home as many travelers as possible, those that have been away. Let's say their flight returns on December the 10th. They can choose to come home with Air Transat a day earlier, or if they want to keep their original flights and their dates, well, they'll have to book with another airline. Air Transat says that they'll help them mitigate this and get them on different airlines. So that's what's in store. As far as the negotiations are happening, that's still continuing as we speak. Now, we did hear from the Airlines Pilot Association, and they did say that they are making progress. Here's a statement from them. While some progress has been made, there is still work to do. We are working tirelessly to reach an agreement that achieves the collective priorities of our group. We remain committed to negotiating in good faith until a deal can be reached to avoid a strike. Now, Air Transat has about 40 planes and 500 flights a week, and they move tens of thousands of passengers every single day. Here's more from both sides.
It has everything to do with the fact that we've been working and trying to work towards a deal for 11 months. And unfortunately, the Air Transat management has not taken those sessions seriously enough in order to make progress. As I said, it's been 10 years since meaningful changes and modernization has happened for the Air Transat pilots. And Air Transat is not entitled to discount labor for that period of time, and they're not now and not into the future either.
We are offering to our passengers right now a flexibility plan so that for those passengers that wish to make changes to their travel plans, we're offering credit so that they can make arrangements for further down the road.
ALPA represents 750 of Air Transat's pilots. They haven't had a new contract since 2015. What the pilots are asking for is to modernize the current contract. Air Transat says they've given them a 59% raise over 5 years. However, ALPA says that's not the case. That's inaccurate. So it's a little bit of back and forth there, each side blaming the other, but hopefully they'll come to an agreement very soon. They say they're making progress, but time's ticking. Tomorrow is when all those flights are set to come home. Back to you.
Okay, live from Pearson, CP24's Arda Zakarian. It's 5:41, 4 below zero, feeling more like 8 below. This is live at 5.
It's the first weekday of the city's newest transit line, Line 6, the Finch West LRT, and today TDC Chair addressed concerns about how not fast it is. Welcome back. Police investigating after Jewish prayer scrolls were stolen from the front doors of nearly 20 units in a Toronto community housing building for seniors in North York.
For details and reaction, we're joined live by CP24's Melissa Duggett near Bathurst and Steeles. Melissa.
No.
Hey, Melissa, can you hear us?
Phil and Bakari, mezuzahs, they're placed outside of Jewish households to bring a sense of comfort, of spiritual protection, but certainly a blow to both tonight as Toronto police are carrying out an investigation led by the Hate Crime Unit. This after approximately 20 mezuzahs were reported stolen from inside the building I'm standing next to here in North York. A couple of police vehicles still parked outside, and we're being told that people in the area can expect a stepped-up police presence for the next little while as police are carrying out a suspected hate-motivated theft here. It was 10:30 yesterday morning when they got the report of these stolen Jewish prayer scrolls. Here's more from Toronto Police.
We do have an increased presence in the area. In the coming days, including today, we're going to have officers from 32 Division who are going to be present in the building. So if any of the residents there, they're there to support the victims, seeking witnesses, and any other complainants. So if there's some additional people that have had their mezuzahs stolen, have not yet reported to police, please approach one of the officers that are in the area and in the building today.
The police are investigating. They're reviewing security footage. The only footage that's available is at the front door. This is a person who went through the wee hours of Sunday morning, door to door, tore off the mezuzahs, obviously took them to some other location. We don't know whether it was a resident of the building or whether it was someone who gained entry or broke into the building. So this is in police hands, and we hope for a conclusion soon.
That reaction from City Councillor James Pasternak. You know, we're also hearing from a number of Jewish community groups here today, just sharing their reaction, their outrage, their deep concern about these stolen items. We're also hearing from Toronto police that they don't have any reports of any similar thefts in buildings nearby. In fact, they're saying they haven't heard of this kind of theft before. They are calling it unacceptable. We're also hearing from local Jewish leaders, including this local rabbi. Here's some of his reaction.
I'll just mention that my father and I have been in this building servicing the residents on the Sabbath during the week for about 23 years, and this is definitely the first time that to such an extent, such an extreme, that we've seen such a hate a crime. This is obviously terrible, disgusting. It's horrible. I should mention, some people have approached me. Not to take away, but rather to add. They're missing in their bedroom. We know the mezuzah is a protection going back 3,500 years ago from Moses, divine protection. And so not only should we not take away, but we should add in mezuzahs in protection, which is one of the fundamentals of the Jewish belief.
Toronto Police confirming with us tonight this is still an active and ongoing investigation and that they don't have any suspect description to share with us. They are urging anyone who has any information, Phil and Bakari, to reach out to them. Back to you.
Okay, reporting live near Bathurst and Sales, CP24's Melissa Duggan. Well, it's the first weekday for the city's new transit line, the Finch West LRT.
It is a 10.3-kilometer stretch from Finch West Station to Humber College's North Campus. Finally opened yesterday, more than 2 years behind schedule and $1 billion over budget. TTC says Line 6 will run under soft opening conditions until the spring. Trains run from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. Monday to Saturday, 7:30 to 10 on Sunday. Now, riders we spoke with say it's definitely an improvement, but still could be more efficient, a.k.a. faster.
It can be slow. Yeah, there's points where you're waiting for a good 5 minutes.
People were saying yesterday it was slow, but I got here quick, so I can't complain about it.
Oh, I would say this is a lot faster. It's really helpful.
I don't really know the miles per hour that it went, but I don't know. It just felt like it was slow, stopping at the lights.
Obviously being kind of slower, it's not as, I'm assuming it's not what everyone wanted, but it's still a good step up from what we had before.
If we could go a little bit faster, then it would be a perfect.
Definitely not as fast as I was expecting it to be, but overall, I'd say it was a pretty nice experience.
TTC Chair Jamal Myers responded to concerns today about complaints over the slow pace of the Finch LRT.
I would say there's things that we have to look at in terms of also looking at the speed limit reductions. Does it make sense that it has the same speed limit reduction that has its own right-of-way as it does on the road? So there's a whole set of policies that we have to start looking at, not just for the LRTs, but the streetcars. We want to make sure that it's done in a more fulsome way. Some of the things are beyond our control. For example, the distance between the stops, which prevents this train from maybe getting up to the full speed of its potential. But other things we can look at, for example, the transit signal prioritization, which are going to start very shortly.
Well, the province estimates the new line will put around 230,000 more people within walking distance of transit.
It's 5:49 minus 4. This is Live at 5.
Coming up, the province has announced a fund to enhance safety at daycares in honor of a boy killed in a crash earlier this year.
The province is investing $20 million to install concrete barriers at childcare centers in memory of a toddler who died in a crash at a center in Richmond Hill.
The Liam Riazati Memorial Fund is named after the toddler killed at the crash at First Roots Early Education Academy in September. Several other children and staff of the daycare were injured, and the driver is charged with dangerous driving causing death. Education Minister Paul Calandra and the Children, Community and Social Services Minister Michael Parsa announced details today.
The $20 million really is a start. We wanted to be able to get out there and look at those locations that had the most pressing needs and get them. These are going to be concrete barriers, so it will do a lot of. There's a lot that we can do at $20 million, frankly, on concrete barriers. But the longer-term solution in many areas is probably going to be bollards and different mechanisms. So it'll be different at every center, but this is a good way to start.
Mr. Education says the community-based childcare operators will be able to apply for the delivery and installation of barriers early next year.
Well, Premier Doug Ford attended the unveiling of Bombardier's newest private jet. This was at a ceremony in Mississauga today.
We have the smartest, brightest people anywhere in the entire world. We have the ingenuity, we have the expertise, and we are the leaders in the world right now. And I can tell you one thing, we never, ever have to take a backseat to anyone. And I can assure you, we should never, ever take a backseat or apologize to President Trump. We produce the greatest goods, the best things anywhere in the entire world.
There's the plane. A Bombardier Sage Global 8000 jet can fly faster than 1,100 kilometers an hour, making it the fastest civilian aircraft since the Concorde supersonic jet. Keys to the first Global 8000 were given to Patrick Dovigi today, President and CEO of GFL Environmental. I want one. Put that on my Christmas list.
Yeah, right.
Right? Let's do it up. Go to Paris. It's 5:54. Feels like -8. You're watching Live at 5.
Today marks 45 years since the Beatles' John Lennon was fatally shot outside of his New York apartment. We're going to have more on how fans are remembering him. That's next.
Welcome back. Beatles fans gathered in Central Park Strawberry Fields today to mark 45 years since the death of John Lennon.
Well, they played music at the memorial to the late artist, which features a mosaic of inlaid stones with the word Imagine spelled out in black. Lennon founded the band Quarrymen in 1956, which would later become the Beatles. Now, even though the band broke up in 1970, the Beatles are estimated to have sold more than 1 billion records worldwide. Lennon went on to have a successful solo career in the 70s. On this day in 1980, he was shot and killed in front of his New York apartment. Fans remembered him and his impact on music.
I think the Beatles were just such a historically wonderful band. Their music is so identifiable, and he was at the helm of that. And also, he was so much more than just a musician. Like, he stood up for so many principles and beliefs that he really went a long distance to enforce. And so, yeah, everyone just adored him. And he obviously died so tragically young that his memory very much lives on.
I read somewhere musically that the Beatles, in terms of the number of unique melodies and harmonies that they've created, were on a par with like Mozart.
The gunman, who was a Disturbed fan, who remains in prison to this date, having been denied parole 14 times.
Well, the Leafs, they're going to be looking to get back into the win column. This is tonight when they host the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, Toronto coming off a tough shootout loss in Montreal on Saturday. The Canadiens took the game 2-1 to snap the Leafs' 3-game winning skid. Puck drop, 7:30 at Scotiabank.
Right now it is 5:59, 4 below, feeling more like 8 below. This is Toronto's Breaking News, CP24.
Thanks for watching. CTV News at 6 is next.